September 3rd, 2025, and the time is now 6:30 p.m. I'm going to open this council public hearing. The purpose of the public hearing today is the sale of the city-owned property on Kelly Street, described as tax account number 28848, map number 4N1W04-BB-03000. It's 9,583 square feet. So I'm going to ask the city attorney if she would to introduce the hearing at this time.
Great. Mayor and council, you're holding a hearing for the sale of real property as allowed under ORS 221.725. Before a city council sells real property under ORS 221.725 subsection 2, the city shall publish a notice that shall state the time and place of the public hearing, a description of the property or interest to be sold, the proposed uses of the property, and the reasons why the city council considers it necessary or convenient to sell the property. The city recorder has satisfied the notice requirements by providing a notice with the required elements of that notice. And under ORS 221.725 subsection 4, the nature of the proposed sale and the general terms thereof, including an appraisal or other evidence of market value of the property, shall be fully disclosed by the city council at the public hearing. Any resident of the city shall be given an opportunity to present written or oral testimony at the hearing. The public hearing is open and the mayor can now ask for public testimony, and then the city administrator will present about the nature of the proposed sale and other terms that are required under ORS 221.725 subsection 4.
Thank you, council. So is there anyone here that would like to testify about the sale of the city-owned property at Kelly Street that is identified as tax number 28848 and map number 4N1W04-BB-03000? That's 9,583 square feet. If you do.
We come up together or? I'm Chuck Leahy, representing Leahy Investments and Ken Leahy Construction.
And I'm Susie Wilson with Oregon First. I'm a realtor on the property.
Really what we'd just like to say is that that property was pretty much worthless, landlocked. We did some improvements, public storm systems and sewer systems, picked up the women's shelters, storm runoff and have treated that. So a lot of the all of the value of that property now is caused by our actions on the adjoining property. It's landlocked and we feel it's worth what it was. Put it this way, when we bought the rest of the property surrounding that, it was $1.60 a square foot, and homeless camps and brush and crime problems. And it's kind of in the way of some other development possibilities.
I've been working on that property since 2011. I don't give up. So it's been, going to be quite a few things. And finally, we have a development to go on it. And we do have some people interested, possibly of, coming into the development. So we really want to see, it's been a long journey getting this. We've been planning this development for 4 years. So we're ready to get going on it and get started. So I'd love to see this. I'm sure you all would too.
Right. That's about it. All I have.
You bring up the capability of bringing up the map?
Yeah, it's probably a good time for me to talk about administrative contract, especially with them there.
I have a map I can.
So I have maps in here.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
And this is a brochure from 2013, before the Leahy folks purchased the property.
That's when I had it.
And the little X there is the approximate location of this property that we're talking about. So if we go to the next slide, it's just a couple of photos of the site, one in 2018 and 2020. It's fairly unremarkable lot. So next, this is the property, which is outlined in yellow, highlighted in yellow, that Leahy Investments purchased and subdivided. And you can see the city property kind of nestled there and really surrounded on 3 sides by this property. And then, so just for a little bit more context, Howard Street, just north of Howard Street is where Burger King is at now. So we're seeing commercial development in that area. If we go to the next slide, same area, but a more current aerial photo. So the Greystone Estates subdivision consisted of several residential lots, which you see are completely developed, and then 2 commercial lots. The city property abuts these commercial lots, and I think the value to Leahy Investments is just to a larger commercial development footprint.
Okay.
So that's kind of the idea behind it. So then the next one, this is actually the Greystone Estates plat, with that property highlighted. And then the final slide, back in 2020, when we were talking about this before, this property was not part of that easement. And so when we were looking at releasing this property and talking with our engineering team at the time, we felt that we wanted to make sure we had an easement that correlated with the easements reserved as part of the plat. Another thing you can see is that the city property is actually 2 separately deeded parcels with the booking page identified there. I don't know how important that is, other than if you really want to geek out on
Jacob,
the.
what is the zoned?
It's zoned general commercial.
General commercial.
Yeah, general commercial. And so those 2 commercial lots, it's kind of a mixture of general commercial, highway commercial, and mixed use, but it is zoned.
Commercial, not residential.
Yes, yep. Now, back in 2022, we had a pre-application meeting with OTAC for this development. And at the time, they had their proposed plan, which I've seen in brochures since, including ones that Susie's had. And one of the things we noted, well, you're gonna have to resolve this city property because the development was shown, including that property. And OTAC's, I won't forget this, even though it's been 3 years, OTAC's comment was, oh, the city still owns it. So they weren't aware that the transaction occurred. So back then, they were looking at 4 separate buildings, total of about 20,000 square feet of floor space. So pretty substantial commercial development. The subdivision did resolve the landlocked issue. If we go back to the more current aerial photo. Through those commercial lots, you can see this paved road that goes into the residential area and connects to Howard by where Burger King is at. That is, it's an emergency access, but it's also a way to access that property. We wanted to make sure that was resolved, but if it was incorporated into a larger commercial development, that would no longer be a relevant issue. And as was testified, that access was not provided prior to the subdivision. So a little bit of history just to help you understand what we're talking about.
Jacob. Okay, so you guys gave your public statement, or anybody that else has would like to speak?
Thank you.
No one? Is there anybody online, Kathy? Okay, so nobody's online. So the next step is for our city administrator to discuss the nature of this proposed sale and appraisal or evidence of market value and the process it went through to select the proposed buyer. So John, if you.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. This is part of that process to sell property. It has to be properly noticed, has to be put in the newspaper. Has to have this public hearing. The nature of the sale is a barter for sale. We've done an appraisal on the land actually several times now because it's taken some time for this. We also evaluated the fill material that was delivered to the site, including the placement, the hauling, and the capping, and determined that it's of equal or greater value to the city. And That's about what we have. So
All right. Is there anything else, that actually that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, so I think a determination under the statute that the city, that there's no public use for the property, and that it's necessary and convenient to sell the property. So if this, John, if you find, or the city finds that that's the case, then we're going to state.
That is the case.
that is the case, yes.
All right, so then we are going to, at 7 at our regular council session, we're gonna be voting on resolution 2051 tonight. Is there any questions for the city administrator at this time from any council member?
I have a question. We're exchanging the property for soil, dirt.
Correct. Yeah.
And you've got prices for that.
We did. We got,
Okay. I'm a developer also, so I've got to put my citizen's hat on right now. And I would just want to make sure that we're getting value in that dirt. We got it so you could raise the height of that property.
yeah, it was for the Castor Road
Yeah, so
bill.
structural fill was what was needed and wanted. And with it sitting there longer, anything I deal with soils, in any big project the soils have to be approved for structural and also, any contaminated soil. And a very simple process to get it tested, and they tell you what the soil will do and all that. Not that, Mr. Leahy gave us any bad soil, but it's just, I think from the standpoint of the citizens, there's value there. Because it could be a liability if something's else.
Was the soil checked?
I'm almost 100% certain it was the same soil that filled Greystone subdivision.
So that was
It
like,
was turned into the interview. That I don't have it with me, but I do have that.
so Counselor Hubbard, you're heading down the path that I had questions on the clean material, right? So if it's free from organics, free from just debris, and then also for the compaction properties for 95%, right? It needs to be for ASTMs, D6, 98. There's moisture content. There is, and common for good quality in Oregon is select structural fill. So screen, compactable, crushed rock, or gravel base 3/4 plus minus, and then engineered. So my question is, we've been told the price checks out at about 3,600 cubic yards for what we're looking at. And in fact, it looks over by like that type. If we were to buy structural fill, it seems like it's more than what the property was valued at. But I'm just curious on any documentation we had on the actual appraisal and what it was defined at for good quality and the matrix that was used to determine that.
Okay, so there's the structural component and then there's environmental component. If there's a question around that, we can bring in and have it tested and have Carlson Testing come in and do that to offer some certainty. It's not terribly expensive. And
Well, I'm just, I guess the question is, did we have an appraisal? When you said somebody reviewed it, who reviewed this soil to say that it is good quality, that it's all of the things that Counselor Hubbard and I were just discussing?
it was talked about with our project engineering team with McKinsey. That the estimates for used off the quantity estimates that were in budget for the police station. I don't recall the environmental piece being raised, but some presumption would be that it comes from a clean, suitable source.
I don't have any issues with selling him the property because I think it's very logical that he's gonna develop and that's just a piece that he's improved, but also as an easement through it, and it's used to nobody except him. So it's just, we're getting a decent price for it. Not that we want more dirt or anything like that, but what you agreed upon, that we have value there that is not gonna be something we have to pay to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, the price for 3,600 cubic yards like seems to pencil out based on just industry standards, right? I mean, it actually is substantially more actual value of that property is. So if that were the case, my only question is actually getting a good product, meaning a good quality building for what we're getting.
That's all. That's the
Yeah,
only thing I'm questioning.
So do we have any, do you guys recall seeing any reports or anything on that?
I don't recall seeing any dirt samples that substantiated whether the dirt was good or bad.
Coming from a construction background where there's excavating all the time, there's good soil and bad soil, right? I mean, that's just generally where it's at.
Right.
It was understood to be both structural, clean structural fill material. We can test that if the council wants to do that.
Counselor Sundin, do you have anything? Counselor Gerson, Ashley, did you want to say something else?
I guess if I could make a recommendation, then you could approve the resolution conditional upon the city administrator confirming the value of the price of the value of the material that was provided to the, that will be provided to the city.
Quality of the material.
The quality, yeah, I think that I could use some help with what aspect of the valuation you're looking for, but some sort of condition that would be satisfactory to the city.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Has the dirt already been delivered?
Councilman Johnny's.
Right? So this is the dirty dirt deal. Right? Up again. It's the same dirty dirt deal.
You want us to find out if it's dirty dirt or not dirty dirt?
That's the question.
Again, I agree with Russ Hubbard. I don't care about selling the property. I care about the process. And it's like, we're bringing up the same process again, where you already have the dirty dirt deal done. And it's like, to me, we've waited for what, a year it's been, and now you're re-bringing up the dirty dirt deal. And it's like, to me, the answer is no, you don't get the dirt before you have the hearing or before you do it. This is the dirty dirt deal back again. And to me, it's just wrong that you don't get the dirt before the hearing and before you've made the determination. That's just backwards and it's wrong.
Council's dealing.
I was saying, what I could offer is that, whenever the city receives payment is not relevant to whether or not the city is being compensated for the property. So I take those points, but if the city wanted to move forward on selling the property and if the product is suitable at the city's determination, it can move forward. So if there's some information that you need to help you, let's figure out what that information is, and you could condition the approval of the resolution on receiving that.
And I think that the other thing for me is the fact we can't control what previous councils have done. We're up here trying to do our due diligence and read through the things that we currently have on our plate in front of us right now. So we're trying to do the best due diligence we can. So I think we could craft or frame something like that to move forward with the contingency of the quality of the dirt, and it should, basically be in good quality, so we can help craft that. But I agree, I see no reason for us to keep like that. It doesn't seem like it's a benefit to us, and they put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into that property, so it makes sense, but it's time to do something with it. Okay, so is there anything else from any of the counselors? Any other questions? Okay, so at this time, I'm going to close this public hearing at 6:49 PM. All right, today is September 3rd, 2025. The time is now 7 PM. I'm going to call this council regular session to order. So if you guys would all please stand and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so the first thing we have on the agenda, which is obviously very exciting, and it's supported by this entire gallery being pulled back here, is the swearing in of our new police chief, Matthew Smith. So if we could have Judge Breckage, is that right? I got it? All right, high five. If you would come up here and do the honors and swearing in our new chief of police, we would greatly appreciate it. And before you do that, I want to also say thank you so much for all of your patience and your support throughout this process. So it's been a long journey to get here, but congratulations and really excited about this.
Raise your
Sorry, can you guys stand in front, like, sorry, behind?
I know.
Front of the
Yes,
table?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Be careful.
Judge got some cool shoes on.
Yeah. All you can see, so. All right. Repeat after me. I, Matthew Smith,
I, Matthew Smith,
being duly sworn,
being duly sworn,
depose and say that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
depose and say that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and will honestly and faithfully perform the duties of Police of Chief of the City of St. Helens, Oregon,
and will honestly and faithfully perform the duties of Police Chief of the City of St. Helens, Oregon,
to the best of my ability and understanding during my term of office, so help me God.
to the best of my ability and understanding during my term of office, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
Also want to say thank you to Chief Smith's family for being here. And also, it's no surprise that he spends a lot of time away from the family, helping our citizens in our city. So I can safely say on behalf of this council, we thank you for sharing his time with us. And we're very honored to have him as our chief of police.
This is where you.
Yeah, and we also need to do pictures, so. So we'll do pictures and then however you guys want to do it, and then we'll do a council picture.
Stand here to us.
Have your chance.
It's too many witnesses.
We don't see anything.
He's taught you well.
Yes, he has. You don't want to be stabbed?
No.
Okay.
Nerd.
There we go. We'll just set that right there.
Congratulations. Then if we can get some pictures, that would be amazing as well. We do them as a council, not just with a mayor at this point. All right, Crystal, you want to, wait, you gotta stay there. We gotta have pictures.
So since it's only him, can I have everybody come forward? Cause it looks.
I feel so tall back here.
They just put your dance.
It's picture day. We need to put that on the agenda when it's just gonna be picture days. Amazing. I'll be privileged. Honored.
Inside, you're gonna.
Judge in afterwards too.
You gotta give the judge.
Yeah. Ready? I should go pop it.
Yeah, you in there. Everybody's gonna have to get a lot tighter in. Thank you. Right. And then. I think we'll go do one of the courthouse steps.
Perfect. Did you want to grab one with Matt and
Family.
with one with Emily?
Yeah, you want one with family?
Yeah, I'd love to get the girls up here.
Yes.
Gotta get them while you still can.
Exactly. We messed them up again. Messed up the pictures again?
Or the signs.
Oh, we did? Sorry, Crystal. I'm gonna move out of your picture. I'm not gonna put it on you. No, you're not moving that.
Where am I supposed to put my hands?
Say Disney.
Disney.
Hey,
Congratulations.
get everybody out. So.
Can we get a round of applause, please, for our new? Well, I think you guys are gonna have a photo op on the court steps, so. Thank you, Mayor. You're welcome. All right, so that moves us over into our proclamation. So we have a library proclamation today, which is, sorry, no, you're fine. You're gonna have to look for the pictures on social media we took today with the library card, and we have Suzanne here, right? You could like, well, sure. It's amazing.
Just carries this around with her.
Yes. So I'm going to read this. The City of St. Helens proclamation. So that's a National Library Card Sign Up Month, which is September 2025. Whereas libraries are foundational to education, imagination, and opportunity, offering everything from early literacy programs to digital tools that support lifelong learning and personal growth. And whereas the City of St. Helens Public Library curates collections and designs programs for all ages to ensure equitable access to information, technology, and culture for all. And whereas the City of St. Helens Public Library helps citizens navigate life's challenges by providing trusted information, digital access, job search support, and connections to essential services. And whereas the City of St. Helens Public Library helps our economy thrive, equipping job seekers, entrepreneurs, students, and creators with tools and training to succeed. And whereas in the times of both crisis and calm, St. Helens Public Library staff remained steadfast in supporting and strengthening our community. And whereas a library card opens doors to endless possibilities from books and technology to lifelong learning and imagination. Now, therefore, I, Jennifer Massey, the mayor of City of St. Helens, do hereby proclaim September 2025 as a National Library Card Sign-Up Month to celebrate all the ways that a library draws us together as a community, and by encouraging all residents to sign up for a library card and explore the endless possibilities it offers. So I gotta actually jump the gun. I'll be honest, because I got excited about this. I already signed it, so I can't do it in front of you, but I did really excited about this proclamation. Also, just the library in general. Suzanne, you do a great job there. So does the rest of the staff. So very honored to do this proclamation today for the library. Yeah, and little plug, I'm just gonna go ahead. There's also gonna be, the library doesn't just do these type of things, but they're gonna have a phenomenal biannual the Columbia County Genealogy Conference. It's been a long day. So that's going to be September 20th. I'm going to actually say some more in my mayor report, but please pay attention to that and sign up for it because it's going to be awesome. Anyway, get your library cards too. All right. So now we are going to move over into public comment. So now the time for public comments. The visitor comment period is an essential part of local government meetings. Please address your comments to the mayor and the city council members. City council will take all input into consideration. Please limit your share to 3 minutes or less. And observant of Oregon open meeting laws, this isn't a time for dialogue, but rather a time for us to listen to you. Responses to visitor comments, if needed, will be published in the next city council regular packet. Please provide your contact information on the sign-in sheet in the back of the room. So if there's questions, they know how to get a hold of you. And when you come up, please state your name for the record. So with that, we will open it up for public comment.
Brady Preheim. So I can't believe we're dealing with back on the agenda again. It's like never ending. My comments would be the same. You want to sell the property, and I really don't have a problem selling the property. I think it's fine to sell the property. Get it appraised, you paid your cash. And if you want to buy dirt, I don't have a problem buying dirt. Do an RFP and buy dirt. I have a problem with getting dirt delivered without any hearing in the night, with nobody knowing how it happened. Still to this day, we don't know how it just showed up. There's been no agreement. There's no dirty deal. It just shows up. And then a year later, suddenly now you're gonna rectify it. And I disagree with you, Mayor, that you can fix past problems. And this is the time to do it. You don't just have to keep going forward and saying, oh, well, the other council did it. Of course, most of the other council was here, but except for the exception of you. But you can fix those past errors and you should not do this deal. And you should say, take the dirt back, do whatever you need to do with it, but we'll buy dirt. We'll put out an RFP. If you're the low bidder, we'll buy it. You want to build the property, we'll auction it off. That's how it should work. Not this back ordinance stuff that you're trying to do yet again. I also want to talk briefly about your resolutions. I think it's a little tacky about how you're each voting on your compensations for each official by recusing 2 people at a time. The way that I think that you should handle that is you do a citizens advisory committee. You let them make the decision rather than playing this little game of 4 resolutions. I've seen that done in other cities as well. And you just take your salaries, your compensation into a third-party committee, and they are the ones that make that decision. And you shouldn't be voting on it at all, on anyone, and doing this little ring around the rosy thing, which I don't think looks very ethical.
Next public comment? Do we have anybody online? Yes, Nick Helmick, just let me let him in here. Nick, can you hear us?
Hello. Yeah, can you hear me? Awesome. Thank you so much. Nick Helmick, City of St. Helens. I just wanted to first off say, Jennifer, thank you for responding on Facebook. I know it's kind of weird to talk back and forth on Facebook, but I do appreciate it being out in the open. As pursuant to my request, please unredact the gym band investigation, release that to the public, let everyone read that, let them make their own decision. That'd be a good step towards the transparency. I'm sure everyone knows, but just for the record, I did request Mr. Hubbard's text messages, both personal and work phone, to all of the city council members, and I will continue to do this for all city council members. So I do request that no one delete any messages. If I feel that there is deleted messages, I may have to submit another request for all the metadata that your phones may hold. Moving forward, I did create a Community Public Freedom of Information Act fund. We do have an anonymous backer of up to $1,000. So if anybody wants to donate towards the Freedom of Information Act fund, they can do so on my St. Helens Government Transparency Facebook page. My whole point is I'm not going to cherry pick information. You know, I may not always agree with you, Jennifer. I do respect you. I respect every single city council member up there. I'm not just going to do gotcha journalism like some people may do, where they only pick out the information that makes them look good. If something, I mean, a perfect example is how you're a woman in a construction industry, and I'm sure you've gone through a lot of stuff, and I respect that. So I'm not only going to just pick and choose what's going to make you look bad. I'm going to post any and everything out there. And I appreciate you being willing to sit down and talk. Maybe I can come down for one of these city council meetings, give you my phone. We can schedule time to sit down and talk. It probably can't be about anything too productive because I don't want to have you violate any Open Meetings Act laws or anything like that. One thing that I did want to kind of bring to mind, I've heard that you've blocked some people from your mayor's Facebook page. I do want to state that the Supreme Court in Linked versus Freed and O'Connor Radcliffe versus Garnier, blocking someone using your official mayoral Facebook account or Facebook page is technically a violation of their First Amendment. That was determined by the U.S. Supreme Court in March of 2024. Your personal Facebook, you can do whatever you want with that. But I know there's someone sitting in that room right now that has told me that he's been blocked, Brady Preheim, from your Facebook page, personal and mayoral. And the mayoral one is the more of the issue. So I don't want to put you personally, I don't want you to put yourself personally liable or in the wrath of Brady.
Nick, I don't want to interrupt you, but that your time is actually up, just because we didn't start the thing, but I didn't want to interrupt you also. So
Nope, that was it. That was all I was
Kathy
gonna
forgot
say.
to actually start the time, so I apologize for that, but it happens sometimes, especially online.
Yeah, no, first world problem. I totally understand it. And I think someone down there probably has my number. So if you want to reach out to me, we can talk, maybe get some coffee or something like that.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Anybody else online, Kathy? No. Okay, all right, so that moves us over into deliberations. So we have number 2, the sale of city-owned property on Kelly Street. As described as tax account number 28848, map number 4N1W04BB03000, for 9,583 square feet.
Sounded like to me where we left off when we were discussing this previously was that we wanted to have a good idea of what type of dirt we have. And making sure that that is, usable. Does that sound like what everyone was thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say agree. I do agree with some of the public comment on the fact of like, the kind of the OODA loop that this didn't seem like it went necessarily appropriate, but it also feels like when we've discussed it with legal counsel, this was, Ashley, can you chime in on that? That it was the sale for it didn't go out for public, but it was the sale or trade for the soil, which was acceptable. I don't know, I'm stuck. I am stuck a little bit on the fact that we did not go out for, the appraisal, the public, auction, or, all of those things.
Okay,
it make
so
sense?
we're talking about resolution number 2051, which is, there was a public hearing held earlier today for the city, it's city-owned property, and to sell this property to a person, to the adjoining property owner. And this is, the public hearing is held under 221.725. And the requirements for a city to sell city-owned property are to advertise or to provide a notice that the city is intending to sell this property and the nature and the terms of the sale. And then what's also required under 221.7254 is to have a public hearing where the city describes the nature of the proposed sale and the terms of the sale, including an appraisal or evidence of market value, and to give the citizens an opportunity to present written or oral testimony at the hearing. So earlier today, there was a public hearing and the city administrator presented information about the sale of this property. There was an appraisal for this property, and this property is landlocked property without any non-emergency access. And so there was an appraisal done on this property, and it was determined that the highest and best use of this property was to sell it to the adjacent property owner that had a proposed development surrounding the property, and they could use this very small, approximately 8,000 square feet of property to contribute to their planned development. The appraisal came in and the city agreed to accept the city is agreeing to accept structural fill material as compensation if that structural fill material is either the appraised value or more. And so that was what was presented at the public hearing. And there was a concern raised during the public hearing whether or not the structural fill material had been appropriately evaluated for both its value and its environmental components to it. And so that was what I think that the conclusion of the discussion was, that city council was very much in favor of selling this property at that price, but it just wanted to verify that the structural fill material was valued for its use as structural fill and for its environmental compliance. And so I think that was kind of where we were with it. And to do that, it would be appropriate. And I think that there was a concern raised by a citizen that, well, this the structural fill material had already been delivered to the city, and that was, backwards. The city could have agreed to it first, but that being said, if all the components are there, the city is willing to sell the property for that accepted structural fill material as the sale price, and to accept that, that does satisfy the statute 221.725, which is what the city is required to do before selling the property. So it's at the city's discretion whether to sell the property if it believes that structural fill material is valuable. And so I think what I would propose is you could move to approve the resolution, but conditioned upon city administrator confirming that the value of the structural fill material is for its intended purpose and meets environmental compliance. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, okay, thank you for saying that again for the record. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. All right. Does any counselor have anything else to say? Counselor Sundin? Counselor Hubbard? Counselor Gunderson?
We need to make a motion.
Yeah, we have the motion. Oh, is it down?
The resolution.
I see number 7.
Okay, yeah, number 7. Okay.
With the condition.
Who has that? Who has the?
Well, I think that, I'm looking at the agenda, that this was under deliberation, so you could conclude your deliberations. I just provided that background and context, but you could conclude it, and then there is a motion that's prepared. And you give them to, I believe, sorry here. And when you get to that number 7, you can raise that motion if you believe it's appropriate.
All right, well, I don't think we have anything else to deliver, so. We're gonna move on to ordinance and final reading. So we have ordinance number 3315, an ordinance amending the St. Helens Municipal Code, chapter 1330, adding a sunset provision to the public safety fee. Ordinance number 3316, an ordinance amending the St. Helens Municipal Code, chapter 1332, requiring voter approval before the establishment of new fees on utility bill unrelated to utility services.
Motions for each one.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 3315 as read.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton. Aye. Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Who's got number 4?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 3316 as read.
Okay, we have a motion second. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. All right, ordinance. This is the first reading. So we have ordinance number 3314, an ordinance revising chapter 18.36 environmental protection, erosion prevention, and sediment control rules of the St. Helens Municipal Code to meet the city's requirement as a designated management agency under the DEQ's Willamette Basin Mercury Total Maximum Daily Load. And then we have ordinance number 3317, an ordinance to annex and designate the zone of certain property at 58506 Kavanaugh Street Avenue. And again, that's the first reading. Resolutions, number 7, we have a resolution 2051, a resolution of the City Council of St. Helens, Oregon, declaring city-owned property on Kelly Street, tax map lot number 4N1W04-BB-03000 as surplus, authorizing the sale of the property in compliance with ORS 221725. We also have a
So I make a motion to approve resolution number 2051, declaring the city-owned property on Kelly Street, tax map lot number 4N1W04-BB-03000 as surplus and authorizing the sale of the property in compliance with ORS 221.725, conditional upon the city administrators confirming that the fill dirt received as compensation meet the needs for structural fill and environmental regulations.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion second. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton. Oh,
Aye. You weren't looking at me.
Sorry, I was already moving ahead. Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson. And I'm an aye as well. All right, so that moves us, sorry about that. I already knew you were gonna start saying your
Just threw
name.
me off.
Resolution number 2053. Hey, it's been a long day. Resolution number 2053, a resolution of the City Council of St. Helens, Oregon, authorizing the amendment number 2 to the purchase and sale agreement of property at 1300 Castor Road, tax account number 13249 and 13215, and authorizing and directing the city administrator to take appropriate steps to effectuate the closing of the sale of the property.
And I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion.
Before you make a motion, I have something I just want to say. I've got some information that I wanted to talk about to address the city council meeting, but also that I did just get an email. This is for the sale of Arcadia property.
Yes.
Right.
We're number 8.
We're on number 8. So I just want to share that there was some discussion about this amendment earlier. And there was a question raised by a citizen about the water rights. And then we have discussed this. And so I haven't discussed what I'm going to say, but and given this email, there was an email with some information from the real estate attorneys that have been handling this transaction. And I know there's a lot of eagerness to complete this transaction, to approve this sale right now. Amendment number 2 included one thing that hasn't, amendment number 2 included an authorization to extend the closing until September 30th. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is there is some time to effectuate closing by September 30th. A citizen raised an issue about the water rights, and I was asked to look into this and to get legal confirmation, and I haven't been able to get legal confirmation about the water. I have legal counsel has confirmed that the city is not selling its water rights, but if there's an interest in getting more confirmation about this, there is time to do that. And while we could prepare resolution that might condition the approval of the sale on trying to get more time for that, what I might recommend is to just extend is not to authorize it right now, not because there's any concern, but just to get that confirmation from legal counsel. Go ahead.
I'm the mill manager for Arcadia Paper. When you're done, I'd like to make a comment about what you're saying.
I think what I would say is the city could condition closing in such a way that authorizes the city administrator to get confirmation. That's another option.
It does say that in this motion.
Yeah, I'd say
It does say that.
Okay.
So that's what we discussed today, is the fact that
It says that the city administrator would receive confirmation from legal counsel that the city's water rights are not expressly licensed to the buyer and remain under the city.
that would be done before.
That would be the.
Okay, before closing.
Yes,
Okay,
I think it's,
okay. All right.
like, I feel comfortable with that verbiage.
Okay, then, so just apologize for the interruption. I just want to make sure that, I know how eager the city is in closing, and there's been a lot of work to get to this point. So I definitely don't want to interrupt in any way that momentum. What we're talking about then is approving amendment number 2 and the sale of the property, but conditioning the sale on getting confirmation about the city's retainage of its water rights.
Yeah, okay, and interject anytime. Your job here is to advise council to make sure that we are like acting appropriately and doing our due diligence on things. So I, for one, appreciate anytime you speak up and make sure if there's anything that we need.
With that said, I would like to hear
Yes.
from you though.
Welcome to the party. Come up.
It's an interesting party. It's different than I expected today. My name's Craig Allen. I'm the mill manager for Arcadia Paper. I've been extensively involved in the negotiation and trying to close this deal so we can put more people in St. Helens back to work. The city is selling 20 million gallons a day of water rights in the purchase sale agreement that they signed with Arcadia, just to be clear. Our purchase sale agreement's pretty clear. The city and Arcadia agreed to split the 40 million gallon allotment that was previously held by Boise White Paper and PCA. And that's clearly written in the document. So I guess to answer the question, if you read the purchase sale agreement, that Arcadia Paper Mills into perpetuity is granted half of the water rights that the city acquired when they purchased the property.
As a license or to own water rights? Because
There's a
whether or
difference.
not we were giving you the access to use them was never, necessarily the question. It was whether or not you became the new owner of the water rights.
And that is
where we wanted to make sure we were doing our due diligence.
That's fine.
So it was never that it was always going to be part of the deal.
And we could have articulated that, I think, a little bit better, that it was more like the licensing aspect, not actually.
That's interesting.
License.
No, it's interesting. Licenses usually come with fees and everything else. Also water rights, there's requirements by the state and the federal government to draw water consistent with those rights. You can't own water rights and never draw water from the river. I expected that Arcadia would be drawing water from the river and fulfilling those obligations. I guess, is the city planning on doing that as well, or how does that work?
Well, my understanding is that you would still have to license to be able to use the amount of water as discussed. It was about the ownership going forward and making sure that if that was a part of the full deal. Is that kind of what, I mean, to be completely honest with you, that's what we're trying to make sure we have every detail on. And I think that's why we're not able to say that we for sure have that. The attorney who's been working on this is not available to us right in this moment, so.
It was something that caught me off guard for the discussion today, so I felt like making a comment, so.
Do you have a comment, John?
No, I just only that, we think we're good on the terms of the agreement, but we want to check on it. So.
I think unfortunately, if I wasn't legal counsel on the agreement, as you can tell, I was not involved and don't have the information. So just trying to make sure that the city is able to answer the questions that are raised. And we have that ability very quickly, just unfortunately not at this exact.
Then the second thing I'd like to say is that we had anticipated closing this transaction by now. We've had a difficult time getting all the documents together, primarily around easements and stuff that should have been very simple, and we look forward to closing it. At this point in time, the delay is causing some substantial issues with our closing. And we'll have further discussions about what that means later. It's not for public comment right now, but I would hope that we could resolve all of these issues and move past all of that so that we can get back to operating a mill and employing some people in the community.
I only speak for myself, but I want you to know that I feel very strongly that the mill is needed and valued. And I have every intention of making sure that it opens as soon as possible and that we bring the jobs back to St. Helens. So I'm sorry if it kind of scared you a little bit today. That was not our intention.
That's okay. And
We feel very strongly about this moving forward and we're just.
So do we.
So
do we. We just have other government agencies that we had some expiration of agreements happen because we weren't able to close last month. And that is being discussed at some very interesting levels right now that could be impacting what we're doing. So moving forward and working with city, we look forward to doing that. There's no discrepancy around the use of the water, then there's no issue at all. We can't run a paper mill without the water.
No, and we have every intention of
So
giving you the
that's-
water that you need to run the paper mill.
I believe that to be true. So thank you very much. I just.
Appreciate it. Sorry to jump in, but I had
No, you're good.
too much control.
Yeah, you're good. I'm excited about Arcadia to get going. I know, I have pictures of my grandpa working in there in 1929. So I'm excited about it. Yep.
It's gonna be nice to have it back.
So we have a resolution before you. The resolution is long, you can it conditions legal counsel confirming the water rights as Arcadia had explained. Would you like to move forward with the resolution? Yes.
And that's number 8 as read? Or do you have something?
There's a,
President Chilton has.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Reading it real quick to make sure that it's accurate. Yeah.
What?
I mean, it is, yeah, it should be accurate, so. I'll go ahead and read it and then we can put a second on and discuss it if we need to. I make a motion to approve resolution number 2053, authorizing amendment number 2 to the purchase and sale agreement of the property at 13000 Castor Road, tax account number 12329 and 13215, as amended by the city attorney, related to paragraph 8, closing and authorizing and directing the city administrator to take appropriate steps to effectuate closing of the sale of property, with the additional condition that the city administrator receive confirmation from legal counsel that the city's water rights that are not expressly licensed to the buyer remain under city ownership and use.
This is wrong. Right, this should be 123 or 13249 and 13215. And it's 1300 Castor. Yeah,
Oh, there's one too many zeros there.
and then this right here, 13249. Sorry, I just heard it mix up. This one right here is 12349, not 29. 3. Yeah, it's 13249. You have to write it above, and then this is 132. That's right. This one's right. Oh, okay. It's just this one was read wrong, or written wrong.
Well, that is a motion on the table though, so.
Okay, we gotta shoot. Yeah, all right. So, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second thought, Rose? I'll second.
Okay, and then, it's incorrect information, but Counselor Sundin,
Because it's incorrect, looks like we need to redo it. I'm a no.
Counselor Presidential,
No,
Counselor Hubbard.
What did he say?
We had incorrect information when it was read off.
it's a live motion though, so we have to get rid of it.
Hold it down.
and Put a new motion out.
Okay, so Counselor Hubbard, Counselor Gunderson, and I'm a no as well. All right, let's try this
Okay.
again.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2053, authorizing amendment number 2 to the purchase and sale agreement of the property at 1300 Castor Road, tax account number 12349 and 13215, as amended by the city attorney, related to paragraph 8, closing and authorizing and directing the city administrator to take appropriate steps to effectuate closing of the sale of property, with the additional condition that the city administrator receive confirmation from legal counsel that the city's water rights that are not expressly licensed to the buyer remain under city ownership and use.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Discussion.
Okay. Anything to discuss with the way that is worded there?
Talking about ownership. So if that's an issue, that's what's,
So in this motion, we're seeking to get confirmation from legal counsel that is, fully up to date on the information of this situation, to let us know about the water rights and making sure that they are licensed to be used for the mill.
If I can interrupt, let me make a recommendation. I would recommend that we take a brief recess. And I would like to just discuss with Arcadia, with the buyers, to make sure that we are on an understanding of what is being approved. I think that that is a good idea at this moment, to make sure whatever the motion is workable. So that's my recommendation at the moment.
we don't need to cloud this situation up. Let's stick with a resolution, and if there's something that could be more.
I would just recommend a brief recess.
Okay, so we will be in recess for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then 5
For 5 minutes.
for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
So we'll be back at 7:45.
Thank you.
All right, are you ready? Okay, we're back for recess, from recess. It's now 7:55. Sorry for the little bit of more of a delay there. Kathy or Lisa, can you tell us, we had a motion, we had a motion, did we have a second on that? Yes. Okay, so we had a motion, we had a second on that. So Counselor Sunday.
No.
Council President Shelton.
No.
Counselor Hubbard.
No.
Counselor Gunderson.
No.
And I'm a no as well. All
All
right,
right.
third time's the charm.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2053, authorizing amendment number 2 to the purchase and sell agreement of the property at 1300 Castor Road, tax account number 13249 and 13215, related to paragraph 8, closing until September 30th, 2025, and authorizing and directing the city administrator to take appropriate steps to close the sale of property with the additional condition that the city administrator receive confirmation from legal counsel about the city's water rights.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, second, Counselor Sunday.
Okay.
I'm not, well, I should ask, any other discussion? Good? Discussion?
We did that.
Okay, Counselor Sunday, your aye. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well. Ooh. All right. I would normally ask for a round of applause from the gallery. But all right,
Impressive there, Mayor.
This is why we need sandwiches and soda.
yeah, okay. That just takes us right into resolution number 2054, resolution establishing an official compensation package for the mayor, or excuse me, I'm hungry. Oh, yeah, package for the mayor for food, beverage, and other city-related items. So I am going to declare an actual conflict of interest, and I'm going to abstain from the conversation and voting. Oh, and my conflict of interest is because it directly involves me getting food and beverages.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2054.
Second.
We have a motion, have a second. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Counselor President Schill.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm abstaining. Okay, so resolution number 2055, a resolution establishing an official compensation package for city councilor position currently held by Mark Gunderson, the city councilor position currently held by Brandon Sundin, and applying to any city councilor subsequently holding these positions for food, beverages, and other city-related items.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number.
I'd like to declare a conflict of
I would also,
interest and abstain from the vote.
I would like to declare a conflict and abstain as well.
Okay.
So you gotta do it at a time.
Just to clarify, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2055 as read.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, Counselor Sundin,
Abstaining?
Counselor President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Abstaining.
All right. All right, we're on to resolution 2056, resolution establishing a official compensation package for the city councilor position currently held by Jessica Chilton, the city councilor position currently held by Russell Hubbard, and applying to any city councilor subsequently holding the positions for food, beverage, and other city-related items.
I'd like to declare conflict of interest on this resolution.
There, conflict. I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2056.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Abstain.
Counselor Hubbard.
Abstain.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I am I as well. Resolution number 2057, a resolution establishing the official compensation package for the city of St. Helens for food, beverage, and other city-related items.
Motion to approve resolution number 2057.
Second.
Motion second, and Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well. Award bid for contract number 13, award bid and authorize mayor to sign contract with Jeffries Construction LLC for 2025 storm cleaning. CTV project number SD-201 in the amount of $63,613.
I'll make a motion to approve number 13 as read.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well. Approve and authorize for signature, number 14. Agreement with the Columbia County for transfer of jurisdiction of portions of Gable Road, Columbia Boulevard and Bachelor Road.
Motion to approve or authorize for signature the agreement with Columbia County for transfer of jurisdiction for portions of Gable, Columbia Boulevard, and Bachelor Flag.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. We do have a change to the agenda, which is appointments for boards and commission. It appears that they had noticed an error in one of their motions during their last meetings. And so looks like they're gonna delay the appointment for Chelsea Newsome, the library board. But it looks like they have a meeting next week, I think. So we'll probably see it at the next council meeting, but for today, we're not discussing it. Consent agenda for acceptance, number 16, Parks and Trails Commission meeting minutes dated July 14th, 2025.
Motion to accept the Parks and Trails Commission minutes.
And we have a motion, second, Counselor Sundin. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well. Consent agenda for approval, number 17, city council minutes dated August 27th, 2025. Number 18, amend police sergeant job description. Number 19, accounts payable bill list.
I'll make a motion to consent agenda items for approval, items 17, 18, and 19 as read.
Second.
Who's do?
Mark.
I second.
Okay, Mark has a second. So we have a motion, we have a second. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So then we have work session items. I think we have a couple.
We do. I have one. We discussed earlier in the work session, the Oregon Association of Chiefs of Police Agency Review Program. So I'm going to make a motion so we can move that forward. I make a motion to direct the city administrator and the chief of police to engage the Oregon Association of Chiefs of Police to perform an agency review of the St. Helens Police Department and report back within 1 year about the outcome.
Second.
We have,
Discussion?
I do have a question just on the actual verbiage and the nomenclature there within a year. Should it be when like it's done, or are we asking for an update whether it's a year or not? It says within a year.
Well, so if whenever when it's done, within a year is the time frame.
Okay.
That's the way I'm understanding that.
That's how I read it. If you, it could anytime within a year.
Sounds good to me. All right, so we have a motion, second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well. Was that it for work session? It's been such a long day, I don't know. Is that it? Okay. Counselor member reports. Counselor Sundin, do you have anything to say?
No.
Okay. Council President Chilton.
I was going to briefly talk about a couple of things that I have. I attended the 911 board meeting and we had the sheriff's department there. We had representatives from the Scappoose Police Department, the city of St. Helens, and the fire department there. And there are some serious issues with the current radio. So they're hoping to gain some traction with upgrading it. Our police chief, they spoke really well, and they had scenarios that are life-threatening, that the radio is, you can't even understand what they're saying. I don't know how they're still using it. I have serious concerns about that for the safety of our first responders and for our citizens. So I attended that and learned a lot. And I'm really hoping that they gain some traction with upgrading that current radio system. Halloween Town's gearing up. They have celebrity guests. They revamped the gift shop and the haunted house. So that's moving along and getting ready for the season. Shout out, the senior health fair is happening next Tuesday at the Foursquare Church by the DMV. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's a free resource fair for seniors in the community, or really anyone. So that's a great thing that we do here in Columbia County, and I'd like to see some familiar faces there. I also I'm just hoping that all the kids going back to school, I'm hoping that they have a safe and a good school year. There's been a lot of, bad things happening in St. Helens as far as school, and these kids deserve to have a good school year. And I'm hopeful that, the school district is on the right track. The high school is looking beautiful, and it's a good you know, a beautiful place for these kids to be, and they have all the resources. So now we just need to meet them there with the people that are servicing these kids. So that's all I have.
All right. Counselor Hubbard,
Nothing.
Counselor Gunderson.
Oh, you guys let me just chat away, huh?
Took all our time.
Yeah. As usual, I want to thank Kathy and Lisa for all the work for the council. Appreciate that. Gonna share that I did submit for Kathy for Recorder of the Year. For the state of Oregon. Unfortunately, did not happen, but it would have been well deserved. So I was advocating hard for that. So I think we work really hard. All the work that goes into all of this, and the staff in general also as well. There's just runs very lean for the amount of projects and things that are going on within the city. So thanks to the staff and first responders and all of those people. Also want to mention, and please chime in, any other council member, because I am tired if I misspeak on this, but the Levitt grant, I do want to mention that the voting, pay attention to social media and what's going to come out. There's Main Street has been working on getting a grant. It started with 300 participants. They're down to 100, and then it'll go down to 50. It's additional $40,000 per year to add to our 13 nights on the river. So that's in addition to, and so that's a pretty big deal. They put a lot of effort into it, but it's going to come down to voting. So this Friday at 10 a.m., voting will open. It'll go from the 5th to the 15th. So we need to share far and wide so that we can get as many people to cast votes, so that we can get this grant, because it's just going to enhance our experience down here on the waterfront with talent and whatever else, maybe some little infrastructure stuff. So please share it once you get it or see it out there. And then also for the library, Suzanne gave me information about a genealogy conference that's going to be happening. It's called Many Lands, Many People. It's on September 20th. So it's free. It's nationally recognized presenters. The nice part is you can participate in person or on Zoom. It's sponsored by the Friends of the St. Helens Public Library. And there is pre-registration, it's requested, but it is not required. If you do want to register, you can do it online or you can go into the library. And I'm just going to hit on some of the topics, which is finding exclusive ancestors, finding and learning for ancestors, Eastern European and genealogy, Black American genealogy, dual citizenship and right of return. And they have two presenters on here that are very well known, but sounds like it's going to be a really cool conference. So again, if you're looking for something to do on September 20th, sign up for that. Otherwise, I don't have anything else, and we're going to adjourn this meeting at 8:07 p.m.